This is Sonic the Hedgehog, and you're watching Figure 8. And this is Shadow the Hedgehog. You are watching Figure 8. Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Finalhazard podcast.
Yes.
The podcast,
the prototype to the ultimate podcast.
Fuck you, dude.
You slipped up on your words. You said it wrong.
I didn't even know. I didn't slip up on my words. I just, man, bro. I don't even like calling it the prototype to the ultimate podcast.
What?
You're the one who named it.
Yeah.
Shh, 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 shh.
Oh my god.
Quiet down.
Anyway.
You're too loud. But yeah, thank you. Welcome back to the Finalhazard podcast, the podcast where the Figure 8 podcast where we podcast and talk about stuff and things and all things, everything related. It's been a hot minute since the last episode. The last episode we talked a bunch of, the last two episodes actually, because we talked about Sonic Movie 3 and our speculations about the character of Shadow and how it would correlate with the Knuckles series, and
it didn't.
We were fucking wrong.
And it was actually a huge waste of our time and your time, and I am so sorry.
Yay!
But
FNAF yay sound effect.
Oh yeah, we almost forgot. We gotta do the introductions. I'm your host Matt, and as always, I'm joined by.
What's up? It's Seth.
And Ethan Chaotic.
I watched 2 episodes of Knuckles, so you don't have to.
And we watched all 6, so Matt didn't have to.
Yeah.
And
I remembered it, so you don't have to.
Yeah, the Knuckles show. I remember they announced the show back when they announced Sonic 3 at the same. They did it at the same time.
And everyone was like, and the crowd goes mild.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about it, at least. I was like, a Knuckles show? What the hell are we doing here?
But then Sonic 2 showed us that Knuckles in this universe is oh, he's kind of cool.
He's cool, but he's
got room.
He's got issues
to grow.
He's got issues. I'll talk about those. Yeah. But yeah.
I remember they announced it and I was like, oh, that's neat. I wonder what they'll do with that. Maybe it'll tie into Sonic 3. It doesn't. But as time went on, I kind of forgot about it.
Me as well.
It seems
because it was in development hell, most likely.
Well, not development hell. They're just very quiet about it.
It was very quiet, and there was also the SAG-AFTRA strikes as well.
The strikes, true. Okay, that's my fault. I forgot about that. I went to the strikes and I striked and I forgot about that.
Yeah, so there were the SAG-AFTRA strikes, and I feel like when those strikes were going on, that's when a lot of stuff was probably going to start getting promoted. Yeah. But then the strikes kind of killed all that noise. So companies had to pivot and push their their marketing cycles forward just a little bit. We saw it with what's it called? Well, no, they were the One Piece cast had a bunch of pre-recorded stuff before the strikes.
Basically, the rules were if it was already made, or you were contractually obligated to do it.
Yeah.
Then you had to. But
also, yeah. Mr. Beast crossed the picketing line. That was a fun thing.
Mm.
Damn.
I forget what movie he was in. But he promoted it, and then everyone was like, "What the hell?" Then we have a strike going on.
Because what's the show? Because Sonic 3 also suffered from the strikes as well.
Yeah.
They had to halt production of Sonic 3.
Yeah. And they filmed scenes that didn't involve the
that didn't require actors.
So what's gonna be really interesting it's gonna be really interesting to see that movie in its completion.
The actor strike was kind of around the same time as the writer's strike, right? Or it was a little after.
The writers strike, I think,
was first.
With the writers strike, the writers went on strike, and then the actors also went on strike because around the same time, because the writers were getting like fucking. They were trying to fight the AI bros, and then the actors were just trying to get paid.
And then we didn't even get that good of AI protection.
Nope.
We're supposed to be talking about Knuckles. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I can't.
Everything is more interesting than Knuckles. So
that is okay. That is very true. It's at least good.
I think though, it's good to talk about because it I feel directly impacted what we got. Because they definitely had to stop like working on it or something in order for like the strikes to pass. Because let me put on my tinfoil hat. I think the writer. I think there was some tinfoil hat theory here. I think there was some cheats going on with the production of this show.
I don't think you've ever told us this tinfoil hat theory even outside of the podcast.
Because I just came up with it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, actually, you know what? We'll talk about the show and then we'll loop back around.
So wait, so you are literally Knuckles Operation Big Waving this?
Yeah.
Thought about this plan in 11 seconds.
Yeah.
Or 30, however.
Because
But
I
it won't result in
also
the death of an entire army.
Yeah.
I also have some theories, or something that I saw on Twitter in relation to this show and another production that just recently got canceled.
Okay, well, before we get into Seth's tinfoil hat theory, you better remember it. And before Matt's tinfoil hat theory, you also better remember it. Let's talk about the show itself. The synopsis. Seth, would you like to continue?
So the show promises you that it's about Knuckles the Echidna adjusting to his new life here on the blue planet of Earth. And
the planet as cool and blue as Sonic.
As Sonic, yeah. And then in the first episode, he's like lost a little bit. He doesn't know like his place in the world anymore. So he consults HappyMatt, the great leader of the Echidna tribe, through fucking ghost communication, because I guess Knuckles can do that. Sure.
Knuckles is schizophrenic.
And Knuckles is schizophrenic hallucination, but HappyMatt, great chief of the Echidnas,
the Echidna tribe,
tells Knuckles that he must train Wade, the deputy of the town, to become a great warrior. And like you're thinking, okay, so it's gonna be like they're doing a thing, and it's gonna be like hijinks ensue with these characters, and it is a little bit, but not in the way you expect.
It's only like that for the first episode. It is only like that for the first episode. Deadass. What do you mean?
So,
okay.
Basically, the real plot is Wade. He's got to win that bowling tournament, bro. Because
he's got to win the bowling tournament.
Because the best way I can describe Knuckles the TV show is, imagine you're watching a 90s to early 2000s Adam Sandler Happy Madison comedy.
And like Knuckles is there.
And Knuckles pals around. And that is the show. Besides maybe like 1 or 2 episodes where they fight the bad guys, and the bad guys are barely characters. One of them is played by Kid Cudi, and the other, the woman, I forget her name. But
they're funny, at least.
They're funny, yeah. They're
like rogue gun agents, but they don't really do anything. Like they only have real presence in like 1 or 2 episodes.
Kid Cudi was having a fucking blast.
I think he just asked to be in the show, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll put you in Kid Cudi."
He's the highlight. He's the highlight.
He's the highlight of the show.
He's the
Because
highlight
just
of the
having
show.
So much fun.
Of the episodes that I watched, he was the highlight. You know.
Yeah.
It's true.
He's also funny because he is just pure evil for no reason. He just
wants to beat people up.
Yeah, he was like, I fought in underground fight clubs, and man, it was boring. Then I joined Gun, and I wanted to beat up like as badly as I could, and I'm just like, okay, man.
Yeah.
All right.
But the downside is that they're barely in it. Like
Yeah.
you'd think the show with the way it's set up is like they're going across the country, they're getting into misadventures, and like the GUN agents are gonna like fight them every episode like they're Team Rocket, but it's not like that. Instead, what we get is the entire middle section of the show is like at Wade's family's house or like his hometown, and like it's just so like A, it's boring, and B, it's like it just doesn't need to be there. Like they go to his mom's house or whatever, and you would think like if this was a movie, it would be like a scene where they go to the mom's house and they
fight the bad guys and dip.
They say some words of wisdom, they fight the bad guys, they dip. But like here it's like 2 fucking episodes of bullshit.
Like at least an episode in 3/4, or like an episode in 2/3, like just a fully entire in Wade's mom's house.
Yeah, and we're introduced to like his sister as well, who's like a FBI agent, but like she doesn't do anything to suggest that besides say she's an FBI agent and she wears a hat and jacket that say FBI.
That say FBI.
And she is also insufferable.
Genuinely.
I don't even remember. Is it Wanda?
Wanda, I think that's her name. Yes.
She is insufferable. There's a scene where Knuckles and Wade are like at the dinner table talking to the family, and like the sister is like, she just behaves like a 6-year-old child, and she's like just like prodding at Wade the whole time, and like Wade's like fighting with her. I guess that's the joke, is that they fight like little kids, but
that's not funny.
they tried so hard with Wade. Like I feel like they tried so fucking hard with Wade to make him like interesting.
You saw the second episode where he does like the James Bond montage.
Yeah, it was so, they tried so hard to make him interesting, right? Like he's a fun character, but I only liked him in the short little burst that I got him in the first two movies. I don't give a fuck about this guy.
Well, also because
he's not a character.
He's the comedic relief side character.
He's not.
And the thing I kind of liked about Wade is he's not incompetent. Like like Dr. Stone probably didn't care being tied up. He's a freak, but he still tied him up. Like he was trying to interrogate him poorly, but he's like doing his job. If he was purely worthless, like Dr. Stone would have just like punched him in the nose and thrown him out or something.
Because so Wade, I just don't. I don't get it.
Did I say Dr. Stone? Sorry, Agent Stone.
Yeah,
Agent Stone.
I just didn't get it.
I'm not done talking about that dinner scene though, because it gets worse. So they're arguing at the table, and then like Wade says something like, I don't remember what he said, but it's like a valid like point against his sister because she's being a fucking asshole, and she just grabs a fork and stabs him in the goddamn arm. And he's like, he's obviously like, it's like played for a joke, but he's like obviously like really upset and hurt, so he storms off. And you know what the fucking show does? The fucking cast acts like Wade is the one being fucking
unreasonable.
He just got stabbed in the arm.
Wait, so he got stabbed in the fucking arm?
Yeah, with a fork.
Yeah.
This is like, what is this? A Mike Myers movie?
It doesn't
like it's giving Cat in the Hat.
It's giving See, and I think that's what they were trying to go for.
But it's not fun.
I know. I think that's what the show was trying to go for. Was going for that like weird, absurdist early 2000s Happy Madison-esque sports comedy. And
shot at being.
Wait, no, Happy Matt. That's that's the Adam Sandler movie company.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on. Do you think I said Happy Madison?
Yes.
Oh my god. Dude, that would have been crazy. You would have taken the biggest shot at Matt and like just brushed past it without even realizing. It's such a Happy Matt kind of movie.
Because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. We can talk about that another day.
That is so funny.
But like, to get back to it, it's like this, and like episode 3 had that scene, which, if this was a movie, it would be a single scene. But here, it's like they're like sitting there for 15 minutes. And also, I want to point out is that this show did like made a remark, I'll say, that left me fucking flabbergasted.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So,
I wanted to bring it up too.
Knuckles is talking to Wade's mom, and Wade's mom is like an interesting. Actually, she's not an interesting character, but she's interesting in the fact that she is the Jewish mom stereotype character, which Jewish stereotype characters in my Sonic media is crazy.
And Penders' influence wins again.
But also, Knuckles tells his backstory to the mom.
Ugh, I can't believe we're getting into this.
And this bitch has the audacity to say, you know, it seems like your tribe has gone through quite a bit. Ours has as well. Implying that the echidnas being wiped out and comparing it to the Holocaust.
And like, I know...
my Knuckles show for 4-year-olds.
We only saw one owl in the entire franchise, by the way. Just
we saw a couple in the Sonic 2 flashbacks, but that's about it.
Well, Longclaw's cracked, so
yeah.
But the worst part is that, like, I don't know, if you're like an outside observant viewer of the Knuckles show, or like you like it a lot, and I'm not one to be like, you can't deny it's like this is exactly what they meant, but that is exactly what they meant.
Yeah, it's just it weirded me out, especially because the Knuckles clan in this.
Me and Seth watched this in the same room, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
I was flabbergasted. Like,
me too.
This piece of media compared cartoon characters, cartoon echidnas to fucking the world's like history's biggest tragedy.
And yes, and to be clarified, yes, we know that the echidnas, like, we know that the Sonic Adventure 2 story is not like, oh, cutesy little Sonic fun. Like, yes, or Sonic Adventure story. Yes, they all died gruesomely. Yes, it is fucked up. It is a literal genocide. But, like, what are we doing here? What's the point?
It's also crazy to compare.
It's also self-imposed, is it not?
It's also crazy to compare it to that, because in Sonic lore, the echidnas were oppressors.
They wiped themselves out.
They did that shit to themselves.
Yeah.
Like in Sonic Adventure, they're like Tikal's like talking to Pac-Man. She's like, we need to stop like killing people.
No.
Anyway, I just thought that was crazy, and I really like. I really didn't appreciate that, because it just seems very tone deaf to.
It's more than tone deaf. It's like almost offensive.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, like, I don't know the writer who decided to put that in. Maybe he's a good guy, most likely, but I just don't like, from a true creative perspective, what was the point? Why? I saw like someone I follow and an artist I really like. I saw them praising it. They thought it was cute, but in a way, they thought it was cute only because they thought it was cute that Knuckles was the one like being taught, essentially. Like it was pure, like, to them. And this is just from my observation, of course. This is just a stupid little side tangent, but to them, from what I could glean, they only thought it was cute in isolation with Knuckles learning about other cultures, which is clearly not what they were going for. This person obviously took their own interpretation of that scene, which is not a bad thing, but it's clear that the thing that they got from that scene was not the thing the writer wanted you to get from that scene. And in my mind, it's just like, fundamentally, you did a bad writing. You just did a bad job. Like, that is, like, if a person put their own 2 cents into it and got completely off of what you were doing, like, I think you need a couple more drafts.
This show definitely needed
5 more drafts, 6 more,
5 more passes.
Yeah.
Like we said, I think this show just, they kind of popped it. They finished it and then they popped it out. They didn't care about it because they were.
You could argue
them strikes, man.
Yeah. You could argue that what that line means is like, oh, our family is has some hard times as well, because they do. There's a big like emotional, in quotes, plot revolving like the status of the status of their family, but I don't believe that, because the entire episode is just Jewish stereotype after Jewish stereotype.
And of course we have first, like, Jewish stereotype after Jewish stereotype. The smoking gun, Knuckles, you're basically Jewish.
And there it is. Like, after
I think she says he's basically Jewish, like, but obviously referring to Knuckles himself as basically Jewish. That scene is literally saying what it's saying. It can't be about the family, because she literally says he's basically Jewish.
She does. Right after comparing it to them. But that scene also establishes that, like, the mom knows how to fight, so some bad guys show up and they fight the bad guys. And admittedly, I think a pretty cool, like, Michael Bay-esque Bad Boys 2, like, turn, like, they're like 360ing the camera kind of fight sort of thing. I thought it was kind of cool. Also, to put the cherry on top of the scene so we can transition to our next point here, Knuckles says that he's never seen balls as meaty and big as
I've never seen these balls as meaty and big as yours, Miss Wade.
Holy
also Wade's
that
mom
is a
flirts.
line in the show. He's
Wade's
talking about
mom-
meatballs.
No, matzo balls.
Oh, okay.
Wade's mom flirts with Knuckles, by the way.
Oh,
I am your dad now, Wade.
I am your dad now.
There's a lot of sexual innuendo.
Me
in
and
this
your
show.
mother have nasty sexual intercourse.
There's an uncomfortable amount of sexual innuendo in this show, because they go to Wade's room in, like, the next episode, and he has a cardboard cutout of a female wrestler. I forget her name.
Me too.
But Knuckles points out that there's, like, bite marks on it.
Ew.
And Wade's like, oh, no, let's move on.
And of course, this gets into the territory of, like, yes, we're not going to talk about it long, because it gets long and complicated, but Knuckles in this universe is still technically a teenager. He is at least 1 or 2 years older than Sonic. Sonic is referred to as a child, and Wade's mom flirting with Knuckles is very, very dubious and strange.
It is pretty strange. But he also sounds like Idris Elba.
Yes,
So
Yes.
it's like.
But also, he talks like a kid. Like at the end of Sonic 2, he's like, "I am having the fun. Like, let us get ice cream." You know,
Yeah.
like he has the mannerisms of a kid. He views things. Obviously, it's his like cultural disconnect, but he views things like a teenager or younger person would view situations.
You got a sense of wonder and joy.
Yes. And again, getting into it is tough because Sonic characters' ages are always confusing.
Okay.
But you can definitively say, I'm like, at least in my point of view, you can definitively say like Knuckles is meant to be not an adult in these films.
Okay, Ethan, I hear you. I hear you, and I get what you're saying, but I don't think the writers, because when you're talking about these scenes like where like this old fucking lady is flirting with like the 16-year-old echidna guy who's voiced by Idris Elba, you know what they're doing, right?
Right. Yes.
Their intention is to fucking have
It's supposed to be like, isn't that
flirt with
funny?
the actor.
Yeah.
They're just trying to flirt with the actor, not the cartoon fucking animal on screen. But when you
are
look
right
at
that
it,
they are the same age though, because Knuckles was a little child when like the echidnas got wiped out by Longclaw.
yeah,
He's at least 1 or 2 years older. Like he maybe it's just the echidna's stature, but he looks bigger than Sonic in that scene as a kid.
it's just it's a weird thing.
It's a weird episode. It made me uncomfortable.
It's a weird show.
It's a weird show. Moving on, we establish in the same scene, not the same scene, the next episode I think, with like Wade's dad is like a bowling champion, and that's why the bowling thing is so important, because we're going back to the bowling thing. They're fugitives, by the way. We've spent now an hour out of this 6-hour show like avoiding the fucking plot.
Yeah, talking about Judaism.
And so it is the bowling thing, and Wade gets like kidnapped by like the bully guy in the first episode, who he's a bounty hunter. No, yeah, but he's bullying Wade. He's the archetype in the Adam Sandler movie where like it's like the douchebag guy that tries to get like the Adam Sandler's character's like girlfriend date him, which is weird because Wade doesn't have a love interest in this show, which I feel like they would totally.
I'm surprised that wasn't a thing. You know.
But anyway, they establish he's a bounty hunter in the first episode, and he comes to like get Wade's bounty, I guess, because the GUN put it out or something, and and then he has like a acid trip montage with like stage production and puppetry, which is admittedly pretty well put together, and explains.
I hate to interrupt, but I feel bad because it's so tough talking about this show in order because literally nothing makes sense and it's all over the place.
It is.
But continue.
And we learn basically through this like cheap ass rock opera, which they even call it low budget in the show.
Low budget rock opera, yes.
That Knuckles, before the events of Sonic 2, fucking fought Iblis and like gained his power.
The Flames of Disaster.
The Flames of Disaster. He gained
that
the
shit
Flames
is so
of Disaster. Dumb. And it's so funny because in the rock opera, Iblis is singing and he's like, after I beat you up, I'm gonna go on Facebook Marketplace and buy something cool or whatever he says. So you have Iblis advertising Facebook Marketplace.
God,
his design,
what
like, okay,
world.
not to be mean, because I know the joke is that's low budget, but his design is also stupid.
Yeah.
That's just me being mean to the show, though. I get it.
If the show didn't say Flames of Disaster at any point, I wouldn't have thought that was Iblis.
Exactly.
But
they should have just had Mephiles there.
But yeah, they say that like Knuckles fought Iblis and gained his power, but he wasn't worthy of wielding it yet. And then Sonic 2 happens, I guess. And then Wade like learns a lesson about like being brave and sticking up for himself. And the whole
He then
time
breaks
he's having, the whole time he's in this like acid trip, he's also in like an electrified cage.
He's being tortured.
Guy. And when he wakes up, he like Superman flies out of the cage and like destroys it in superhero lands, which he doesn't do again, by the way. He just like randomly for a single scene gets like Superman powers.
Yeah.
And then he's like challenged by the bounty hunter to a duel, and
then he kills him.
Yeah, well, no, he doesn't. He
doesn't.
cuts his hair and he takes his Knuckles hat. And then
he also takes his clothes.
Which, I want to bring up something.
Go ahead.
Wade is a police officer.
He can arrest him.
A small town police officer, sure, but a police officer nonetheless. How come at no point in this show, when they're being attacked by bad guys, does he draw his gun?
Or, if they want to make it a kid show, a taser. Like,
or a taser.
Because it's so strange.
I know he's off duty.
No, because it's so strange because you know how because like at least in Sonic 1 they had a reason for like, you know, Tom to not be like put full cop mode, right? You know, like he was wanted by the fucking government.
But and it's the same situation here in the show, but it has so much goddamn filler in it that you forget that's what's
it's a rehash of Sonic 1 with none of the charm. It's so sad. It's so sad.
Knuckles is a remake of the Sonic 1 movie with like bizarre humor that never lands, and like
at least Sonic
overstays its welcome.
Sonic 1 has a lot of Sonic in it. Like this show Knuckles disappears for a full episode. I don't want to watch a show called Knuckles and have him not be in it for an entire episode.
Well then,
because I mean they can't call the show Wade
and Knuckles.
That is the one defense I will accept, where if the show was called Wade and Knuckles, everyone would have been a lot more lenient, because Wade's name would have been first. So it would have been like, oh, okay, I can understand that Knuckles isn't that much in it because it's called Wade and Knuckles. No, they were advertising this to you as if Knuckles was the main character, which he is not.
Anyway, to basically like just get through the end of the show, the bad guy, the grand bad guy of the whole show was like, he worked for Robotnik, but after
he has
Robotnik
no name,
disappeared.
By the way.
Yeah, I don't even know. He doesn't have a name. They never call him anything.
And I just want to call him Snively because that tweet is really funny. But continue.
But yeah, he has like Eggman robots, and he like collected like Knuckles' power through the quills or whatever.
Yeah, which admittedly is a good idea if they actually did something with it. I like that concept of him using like Knuckles being more abrasive and brash, that he left more of his quills behind. Like that makes sense. That's
but also
fine.
It doesn't explain why. Like, is Knuckles shedding? Like, what?
No, I think it's just because he's like, I don't know. He's much more aggressive and like, I don't know.
Because like, somebody's gonna have to fact check me on this. But do like hedgehogs and echidnas like shed their quills? Like,
I think they get stuck on things and they like come off.
Yeah.
Like, I know porcupine. They're not really. Porcupines aren't really the same animal, but porcupines can like munch them.
Same family, you know.
But it doesn't really explain how he got those. But I guess you could say that Knuckles is just like running around all the time.
Exactly. That is my theory, at least. Like when he runs in Sonic 2, he's running like a freak. Like he runs very like abrasively and big and tough.
And
so
admittedly, like he's kind of interesting because he used to work for Gun before it was called Gun, because in this universe, Gun was established only really recently. But like it was like a shadow government organization with Eggman, and like he has access to all of his technology, and he's like building a mech with like Knuckles' power, and then he attacks the bowling tournament at the end of the show and fights Knuckles for like less than 5 minutes. Like I would clock it at 6 minutes at most. Out of the 6-hour show, the final battle between the protagonist and the main antagonist is super duper short.
And also, the fight starts. 3 of those minutes are taken up. Then the other half is the other half of the fight is like 30 minutes later.
Mm-hmm. Because you have to get through the bowling tournament, the entire thing, the entire finals.
Jesus.
Because
then they
so
play
good.
a cliche song.
And then
with 2 announcers who aren't funny.
Yeah, there's 2. Like it doesn't like ESPN shows up anyway. ESPN 8, I think. But like it plays every act 3 of cliche sports comedy like jokes back to back to back for like 30 minutes. Knuckles fights the bad guy, and then we're skipping a lot, but a lot of it doesn't fucking matter. But basically, they beat the bad guy. Knuckles activates his Flames of Disaster powers.
The Flames of Disaster.
And then Wade and Knuckles murder the bad guy.
Jeez.
He literally dies.
Like in I think they're in Reno.
They're in Reno.
There's a lot of decorative stuff on.
They
the
drop
on the
like a
buildings.
globe on him, or like a circle.
Fucking globe.
Yeah.
When he dies.
Then they kill Snively.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And then this was the worst part of the show for me, is how it ends. Knuckles and Wade are like, we did it.
They
jump in the air, high five, freeze frame, credits. There's no resolution. There's no.
It's almost so bad that it kind of is pretty funny. and then
there's the after credits scene.
This is my jam.
Yeah, he says that because Wade plays the song.
Because Wade is like, you need to the running in heavy, like 6 quotes surrounding this word character arc is that Knuckles needs to find his jam, and he can feel like at peace and at home. And of course, I put character arc in heavy quotes because he never that is like the idea of him finding this being his new home. Well, first, it already happened in Sonic 2. Second, he doesn't ever acknowledge it. And then the just like my jam comes back right at the end.
And not even the end of the show. The end credits scene.
You know what I think, dude?
Okay.
This is gonna be crackpot theory. This show takes place before the baseball scene at the end of Sonic 2.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
No, because Knuckles is not normal throughout the course of this show at all. Bro's tweaking.
He is tweaking.
He's tweaking. So I think
I want to also point out the only episode directed by Jeff Fowler, the director
is the first one.
Is the first one.
And that one is the best one.
Is the only good episode.
Also, wait, okay, again, quick side tangent, because it's so easy to jump from place to place when talking about the show. A Knuckles show without rap is not a Knuckles show. That is just...
Here's my thing. Here's what I would have done. The first thing I would have done, this would not have been a show, it would have been a short movie.
Like a short film, which me and you agree that studios should make way more usage of.
Maybe not a short film, but just a shorter movie. Like 90 minutes.
Right. Which would have been cheaper to make too.
Here's my rewrite, my impromptu rewrite of Sonic Knuckles show. So you have Knuckles and you have Wade, and like maybe you do the bowling tournament thing. Maybe you have Knuckles like he's got to inspire Wade to rise up from his insecurities or whatever. You have Knuckles like learning to appreciate like what he's got here on Earth now and find his home and his jam. You have the music thing be relevant because it is, but like they use a lot of like weird license 80s rock
90s
music.
80s music because that's what's popular. Question mark.
It's not that it's popular. It's probably what they chose to get because
cheap.
The big theme, it's cheap, and then there's the big theme of You're a warrior, Wade. Oh,
right,
Okay.
yeah. In a
So-
warrior.
But here's what I would have done. Replace the 80s and 90s rock music with 80s and 90s rap music.
little boom bap.
Have-
Never hurt nobody.
Have Wade, because there's a scene where Wade introduces like Knuckles to like music and they're rocking out in the car. Have that be a rap song, and Knuckles is like, "Yo, this is sick," and like have rap be the theme of the show, and then instead of the stupid like "This Is My Jam" song at the
I forget
moment
what
at the
song
end,
he even plays.
It's "The Warrior" by I forget their name. It's like
By the Warriors.
It's the opening theme song.
Right, okay.
But here's what I would have done. You have Knuckles. He finds his place in the world. He does goes through his arc, and at the end of the movie or the end credits scene, you get maybe you have like because Wade does mixtapes, so like maybe you introduce in the movie like Wade likes making beats or something. So then at the end of the movie, you get Wade producing a beat. And you have Knuckles on the microphone, and you know what you do? You have Idris Elba cover Unknown from ME for the credits music.
And Idris Elba does rap.
Perfect.
I'm like pretty sure.
That would have been fire. Like
This is my first.
like you could like every complaint I have would still be in the show, but like if it ended like that and it like made sense, I would be like, you know what? Knuckles show, you get a pass. That was pretty fun, but it doesn't.
It's just so strange because it's like, why is there not rap music? I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's something we'll just maybe never find out. But it's like Knuckles, who from his inception is like, in his initial character bio doesn't it mention like hip hop or whatever? Like, or am I crazy? I forget.
No.
I don't think it mentions hip hop, but like.
But again,
like,
he's always been associated with
culture.
Yeah, with the culture, with rap
Yeah.
music, with hip hop, with R&B, like all that stuff.
I think here. Okay, and so I think that can tie into what I was going to say earlier. I brought up with my little like tinfoil hat thing. But rather, okay, so basically. So we know that like Sony has been doing all these shitty cash grab Spider-Man movies based on like the villains and stuff and like side characters who don't have any sway in the greater scheme of things, and they don't work without the presence of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And they keep making them. So I don't know if you guys remember, but there was this show. There's gonna be a show about Cindy Moon's Silk, a newer Spider-Man character, who's the Dan Slott creation with some strange fucking character things going on. But yeah, they were gonna make a Silk show. It was gonna be a solo Silk show, without Spider-Man, of course, which I think is fine because we don't need Peter Parker anywhere near Cindy Moon.
That movie would be X-rated, dude.
Yeah. But
See, there's a reason why Cindy Moon ain't part of the Spider Society
Her horny ass could not be in the Spider Society.
in Spider-Verse.
So they were gonna do this like whole thing with like with Silk, the show with Silk, and basically the show went through development hell, very similar to the show that we're talking about right now, or I don't know if it was actually Nookles, right? So it went through development hell, and at the end of and the show was going to go on Amazon Prime. They were shipping it around to different streaming services and stuff like that, and it was just not, and it just was not working out. Like I think like the head writer, she left or something like that, and the show went through like 3 different rewrites, and we found out
weird comment about it being like, well, it's too female driven.
Yeah,
Literally.
And then we got this there was an article. I cannot exactly remember where it is. I'll have to find it. But it was talking about how the show got canceled. The show got canceled recently. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look up the person I saw quote tweet it. So basically what ended up happening was the executives that worked on that show that worked on this that were working on Silk. They said that they wanted less Silk in the Silk show, right? This is like, and these executives, the executives that worked on this show, that worked on the Silk show, also went on to work on the Knuckles show.
Is that true? Is that like factually true?
I'm trying to find the tweet where I saw
Okay.
it.
I will believe you if you find the tweet, but like I'm just like, whoa, that's surprising. Which okay, this is also another thing. This is like less big of a deal because it's like we already knew this from even Sonic 1. We know that executives are going to be like, we don't want to see the little running talking hedgehog. People want to see a human being because that is in quotes relatable. And then I had hoped by Sonic 2 that was done for. Like Jeff Fowler proved it. He proved that he was able to make Sonic epic or something, and which is why in Sonic 2 we have way more of the Sonic characters. And so I had thought the issue of we don't have to worry about it being all about the humans was gone. The Knuckles show comes around and proves that is apparently still an issue, or at least without Jeff having super direct involvement completely, that is an issue, which is very strange.
And you know what irks me and / scares me the most?
Yes, go
this
ahead.
Is not the last of it.
Right.
They plan to make Sonic movies until the heat death of the universe, and they also plan to make spin-off TV shows like this for the heat death of you. And if this is what they are, I'm sorry, I don't want that.
Which is unfortunate because again, in my mind, I thought we moved past the need for the human characters. Like, not completely, of course. I hope Tom is in Sonic Movie 3. I hope the other human characters at least have some sort of presence because they need to. Maria's there, friggin' Gerald's there, Robotic's there. They have to be there. See,
like, and you know what? This show is entirely skippable. But
right.
You know what I would still like to see, like, because I kind of enjoyed like the scenes of like Knuckles and Wade together.
Yes, they're fun.
I think it would be cool if you had like a little bit where like Wade and Knuckles like pal it up for like a couple seconds to like a minute in the third one, and like you can just assume that off screen they became friends because you can totally skip the show and you won't miss it.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see that. I would also like to see Sonic 3 be the last one.
Or at least the last one before a big change, hopefully.
That's all I wanted. Yeah, I cannot find the tweet. I saw it on my timeline, but I cannot. But like, it was something the guys said. They quote tweeted, like, yeah, these are the same people who work on the Knuckles shit. And I'm like, damn, crazy. But it's kind of like they wanted less Silk, fucking male skewing audience, all this bullshit, and it's just like, it's just strange. It's such a strange thing, and like there's just stranger things going on with like this whole like this show. It's just so weird, and it's like existence is crazy because it's just like the most nothing thing I've watched in a while. In a long
right,
time.
and you didn't even get to the worst of it.
I didn't. Yeah, I could not, because I've sat through terrible shit. Like you guys, we've talked about some of the worst anime I've ever the worst anime known to man. I've watched it. Okay.
Yeah. The schlop among schlop.
Yeah, I've watched that shit. So like my tolerance for like bad shit is like, pretty up there. But my tolerance for like things that don't do anything for me is very low, because it's like it's just like I always feel like things are like they don't feel like anything. It's like I felt nothing from this show, and I felt like because like the character, because Wade is not a character to me. Wade Whippaloo or whatever the fuck his name is not a character. Is not a character.
They tried to make him one.
He doesn't but I don't want him to be a character. I don't need him to be a character. I need him to be the fucking guy who makes me giggle in the middle of who makes me giggle like when they cut to him during the plot, you know? Because it's all like because that's your job, that's your purpose, bro. And they try to give him more of a purpose, but I'm like, no, stay your ass over there.
Also, if there's one random little thing I have, he has like a good haircut in Sonic 2, and he has like a bad haircut in this show.
This is no offense to this actor.
No, absolutely. I know exactly what you're about to say, and I completely agree already. No, absolutely zero offense.
He's really good at his role.
They try to make him like at the angles and like the faces they make him do is like they try to make him like uglier than he is.
Yeah, which is so strange. Adam Pally, if you hear this, you are a good man.
We love you.
We love you. But in my mind, I feel like there is no doubt that they tried to like play up and again, I hope this isn't true. They tried to like play up like fat, like that the fact that he is like in heavy quotes fat, and like they give him like bad angles. His chin is much more exposed. I feel like whenever he falls over, he's making like a weird groaning face on purpose. Cause like I watched Sonic 2 a couple days after I watched Knuckles with my parents, and the dude is like, he's just handsome. He just has a great haircut. He doesn't look like
he is a regular like guy.
Yeah, he's a regular guy. But I feel like me and Seth at least feel like in the show they tried to like gimmickify him, like make him like a sort of like the butt of the joke is that he is a, I guess, more overweight man, perhaps.
No, he's not really. He's an average guy. Like, he's an average build guy.
Yeah.
They call him fat a couple times. Like, hey, are you sure? Really?
It's very strange. Like you can cut, like, I don't know, maybe we're just looking too deep into it because we don't like the show very much. But it's like it gives off those vibes. It absolutely gives off those vibes. Like I feel like in every shot where he like falls over, he's just like he's like making a face, and like his like stomach is like like his back is like arched and his like stomach is out. Like I feel like that it happens like 5 times in the show.
I can see it.
Sonic. This isn't really. I mean, it's kind of a thing in the movies, but in this show in particular, it's really weird. Like the whiplash you get, because sometimes you'll be watching like a cool fight scene with Knuckles the Echidna in it, and then the next scene feels like it's straight out of iCarly.
Right. It would have been better if freaking what's his name was here to save us, Spencer. I feel bad. I forgot his name.
So I think like the thing about like what I watched and like how I felt, like I said I felt nothing. But what something that made me very, very upset. And well, not upset, but like it's just something that I noticed.
It let you down.
And you can like agree with me or whatever or disagree, but Knuckles as a character, I feel like they fucked up Knuckles' character in this show.
Yeah. Like
when I was watching that first episode, I was like, who the fuck are you? Right? And it was like, and I was like, and you know, it's probably because like, oh, I like the games and I like Game Knuckles, and I'm like, you know, I'm trying to like, and we've been talking about, I think in the last episode,
Game Knuckles to movie Knuckles.
Yeah, and I was trying to, and I was like, I was trying not to do that because like I know like, because they talk about how like, we talked about this in the last episode, I think, where like, you know, like 2022 was kind of like this year where Knuckles' character was you know, revitalized and repaired and you know, like reestablished.
Him getting his own show is like awesome.
Him getting his own show is awesome. Him getting an animated special dedicated to him to highlight him is awesome. Like expanding on his character motivations, giving him new character motivations in the recent game is all cool for Knuckles. But my like, I don't know, because it felt like they were doing what they've been doing with Knuckles for the past like 10 years all over again, and it was like they were turning him into a joke. Just in a different flavor. They were turning him into a joke again. Like, yeah, the joke about Knuckles is that he's naive. He's a little sheltered goober. He lived in isolation on a big ass island. The only things that he talked to were the little like fucking squirrels and
little Googas
and squirrels and like birds, but they don't talk and they don't talk, bro. But like he was chilling with them, and then like, you know, then Eggman comes in, tricks him, but like, you know, he's not stupid. He's just like, he's naive. He doesn't know any better. He's learning, and he's getting more exposure to the outside world. But then this show kind of like, they try to play with that, but then they don't explore it, and they just make Knuckles like seem like this hyper combat centric stoic super warrior from another planet, the fucking battle gladiator. And I'm like, this is not who you were. This is not who you were in the movie. The movie where you were introduced.
Yeah.
This is not who you are. Who are you? Who is this guy?
He was like honor and battle and stuff, but it was a part of the character, not the entire character.
A random scene I also felt that was like weirdly out of character was when Wade finally saves him from the two of them, from the agents, and he's just like, that was an awful like you saved me awfully. But it's like, what? Why does he care? Wade.
It's so we can have the scene where Wade is like, but we did it, right? And Knuckles is like, oh, yeah, you're right. That's so we can have that scene. Even though it doesn't make sense for Knuckles to say that. We gotta have that scene because it's on the checkboard.
Okay, I think the issue is, here's my thoughts. I think the issue is that this show, like we've been kind of, you know, we've been very clearly pointing it out that this show is not about Knuckles. This is not a Knuckles show. No. So Knuckles is essentially, I'm gonna say it. He is the mystical Negro archetype. That is his purpose.
Hello.
Do I need to put a bleep over that?
No, it's a fucking thing. Hold on, let me. Or is it not
I know what
you know what I mean. You know what I mean. It's not. No one's gonna be like, oh.
I know what the archetype is, but explain it for the.
Okay,
audience.
So basically, the magical Negro is a supporting stock character who comes to the aid of a white protagonist in a film. Magical. They're usually like that the black guy who pulls up and, you know, gives the well, you know, in my day the advice and fucking, or like teaches
There's an excellent Key and Peele sketch about that.
Yeah, and it's something. The term was coined by Spike Lee. You know, Spike Lee, do the right thing.
Spike Lee coined that term?
Well, no, he popularized it. It. Yeah, I'm reading a fucking I'm reading what's it called, Wikipedia article as I'm explaining this, because it's just like, you know, I'm trying to find a specific thingy that could like a specific like thing that we've all seen that can really, like, you know, point it out. But like
you know, because I feel like you've seen it.
you'll
definitely
see it,
and people would know what you're talking about. Like,
bro.
It's always like
bro,
the
the dude from the Thor movies that be opening up the portals to
Who's
Asgard
also
with the
Idris
sword.
Elba?
It's always like white protagonist is like down or whatever, and then like the magical black guy character will come in and he's like, he'll like see something, like he's a janitor or whatever, and it's like in the Key and Peele sketch, and like something will like be broken, and he's like, well, sometimes before things come back together they have to fall apart, and the main character's like, you're right. Like, that's the type of character Knuckles is in this show.
Yeah, the first when it should have been the other way around. When it should have been the other way around, because the whole purpose of they set up the plot. The show sets up the plot. Oh my god. The plot that they put into the fucking the show is that Knuckles. Well, I mean, the point is that Knuckles and Wade are supposed to be learning from each other, but instead Wade learns more from Knuckles than Knuckles learns from Wade, because they didn't write any of the scenes with Knuckles learning anything, because they decided to write him out of the show midway through, and they don't give a shit about him as a character. Once again, the show boils down to it is nothing. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's just a thing that existed. It's a thing that happened, and now we're sitting here taking an hour talking about the big pile of nothing. God, I hate this show.
And
Knuckles, you didn't say you could fly. I cannot. I can only glide for short distances.
I had to establish that he could do that because they forgot to put that in the movie.
That is true.
And you know what sucks? Knuckles Knuckles is like such a good character. He does not deserve such a low effort, low quality comedy in it where he's not even in it. Like he doesn't deserve this. I say as if he's a real person, but he's one of the more like fleshed out characters in the lore of the series, and I feel like every opportunity you could take with this character in his own like 6-hour show. Not 6 hours.
Just 6 hours.
It's like a 3-hour show. It's like a 3-hour show. There's 6 episodes. And they don't do anything with it. Even the Echidna lore stuff is like a joke.
Because
Pachacamac is like he's pretty like Christopher goddamn Lloyd, which is an amazing casting, by the way, for Pachacamac. Yeah, all he does is like
Knuckles, you need to die.
Like, he's just like, you need to do this thing, or like he like bumbles around as a ghost, and there's no interest. Like, this is the man that murdered Sonic's mom in this universe.
He is properly introduced. He is not properly. What's the word for like a character leaving? Like properly.
He doesn't exit the story.
He doesn't exit the story. Yes, he is properly introduced. He does not properly exit the story in any meaningful way, which is very upsetting because look, I can at least handle goofy Pachacamac. Because the perspective is that like Knuckles understands that they murdered Sonic's family. He doesn't really know the extent. He does know that.
I feel like they don't treat it like
he knows Sonic is the student of Longclaw, and Longclaw was their tribe's greatest enemy.
And like in my mind, it is at least acceptable that he does not view Pachacamac in a negative way, or that Pachacamac is goofy, because of course Pachacamac is going to be goofy to someone who like follows him and understands him, and of course he's going to seem like an awful person to anyone who doesn't.
Yeah, like I could get behind the idea that like from Knuckles' perspective, he was like grandpa.
Yeah.
You know.
And knew a lot more than he did.
So, but like from Knuckles' in a better written show, that show would explain would like explore that like Knuckles viewed him like this, but you would still see on the flip side
the bad stuff.
And we do, but it's through puppets and a weird song number.
That shit is so trash.
And also the implication that Knuckles was there to see his father die, which he was not.
He might have followed behind them.
He probably saw the aftermath.
The aftermath. I don't. But that's. It just feels like retconning to me to say he was there.
The puppet for Knuckles' dad has Ken Pender's glasses and mustache,
which is very funny.
There's like just so much wrong with this show, and I feel like, and I think it's also because of the type of movies that the Sonic movies are, which is why I think after movie 3 we need another fucking we need another revamp. I don't like that they're comedies because they can't play it straight. This is something that I feel these are certain things that I think needed to be played straight, not fucking turned into to the Muppets show.
I wasn't worried about Sonic 3 after Sonic 2, but after this, my worry has kind of returned.
Yeah. The strange thing about it is that like Sonic 2, like it has like a couple subversions where it's like Tails has this idea of Sonic and it never dips into like, you lied about you lied, you're like I didn't think who you thought you were, or like they break up and they're not friends for a few minutes and they come back together at the end. Like there is never
he never leaves it.
Yeah.
No, instead Tails gets comatose for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that like I feel like where Sonic 2 at least like had the strength to not dip into like very cliche tropes, anything like that weak or stupid, but like everything that like writing wise Knuckles does is played so straight. There's no subversions. There's nothing. There is nothing that makes you go like, wow, I'm glad they did it this way. The bowling tournament is literally just a bowling tournament. Knuckles is like, Wade, you suck, and then Wade gets better. And then he's like, Wade, good job. Like everything is so formulaic and to the point. And it's just like, how did we get here? You
know what I'm really worried about? Because, and then Seth, you said something about Sonic 3 worries. And I feel like our worries are in the same fucking place, because if they treat Knuckles like this and the echidna characters, what is stopping them? What is stopping them from turning the tragedy of Project Shadow into the biggest fucking laughingstock of modern history? Like what is stopping them from turning the fucking the Ark massacre into a fucking
flames of disaster,
into a puppet show,
puppet show,
or a crayon drawing?
Like that shit's so fucking garbage. Like what?
Now we just need Wade saying the massacre of the Ark.
Oh god.
You know what though? But I'll circle it back to the episode 1 being directed by Jeff Fowler and being the only good episode. I feel like Jeff Fowler like knows the direction of this universe better than anyone.
Yeah.
He basically created it. But I'm a little alleviated. My worries are alleviated by like that, and also Sonic 2 is just pretty good. Also,
writing.
He worked on Shadow the Hedgehog, so I don't think he would let like the same kind of thing happen with Shadow.
I don't think he would let it happen, but what I'm worried about is what I think. Fuck, hold on, I lost my train of thought. I don't know.
It needs to be written by the people who wrote Sonic 2.
Yes.
That's what. Yeah, but my problem is like I was watching that episode. I was watching that first episode because it was the only one I watched all the way through, because I think I turned episode 2 off with 10 minutes left on the timer. So like fucking my main issue is that, like I said, Knuckles is written just like wrong. He's not written the same way he was written in the movie, which, to be fair, makes sense because it's not the same. It's not completely the same creative team because it's a show, not a movie.
Yeah.
But like, you would think that they would try to grab this character and make sure that his art, his personality and things are consistent. Because I don't believe that movie Knuckles would go and turn the fucking Wachowski house into a fucking gladiator combat ring,
No, I also don't believe that he doesn't care for the world because like at the end of the fucking last movie, it seems like he's like
I'm chilling. I'm
chilling.
Like this. That's why I said, yo, this show takes place way before that scene. Like, cause it has to.
Which makes the show even more skippable because now it's like
it doesn't.
Now you have like a required reading order, and I don't care for when shows or movies do that.
It just feels like it doesn't. It feels non-canon. That's sad as fuck.
Right.
This is like, like it's so frustrating because I want better.
I think the only carryover will be like Knuckles' fire powers. And then that's it.
Which he should have just, had naturally, because like he can do that.
Shift rock, yeah.
Because he can do that.
My hope is that Sonic 3 continues to prove that the Knuckles show is useless. Because if he uses the Flames of Disaster, just like have him use it and don't refer to what it is or how he got it. He just uses it because he has fire powers and he Knuckles.
I think. Oh man, I literally just forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
Oh,
okay. I was gonna say. I'm very I went into this show thinking we're not gonna have any implications or hints or spoilers from Sonic 3, and I had hoped we would, and then they did this little backwards reverse, like, no guys, there's a little spoiler for you. With the announcer saying, I'm actually getting readings that 50 years ago an extraterrestrial showed up on this place as well. Wow, that's crazy.
Wow, Shadow went bowling.
And
Shadow went bowling.
And it's implying, or it's supposed to imply, Shadow, but again, no one knows Shadow exists.
I want to know, actually, like, what I want. This is not the episode for that. Actually, I won't say. I was gonna speculate on some Shadow stuff, but I don't.
Yeah, we got time. But again, it's just like, it's so dumb because they can't even do a little bit of tiny foreshadowing right. Like
they couldn't even do the because they're obviously copying the MCU.
Yeah.
Because they flat out said they're using it as a template. They can't even do that right with their after credits tease. They can't even do it right. This show sucks.
Yeah,
the Shadow after credits tease is so fucking good. So good.
Exactly. It's so disappointing because it's like I said I didn't expect anything that was going to be a hint towards the next movie. And then they gave us something so half-assed that I just wish they hadn't put it in. It's stupid. Like Seth said, the only thing that most likely will carry over is Knuckles' flame powers, and that's it. But it's like, why? Like, does the 50 years ago imply that another character showed up 50 years ago? Like, is like Black Doom? Did Black Doom show up? Like, what happened?
Who knows, man? But okay, I'm gonna say it. And it kind of sucks that that this episode that we've done kind of just the things that we're talking about boiled down to fucking nothing because the show did nothing. And it's just so unfortunate that this is what this is what happened, because Knuckles deserves better, and I think that the Sonic movie franchise also deserves better. So while this is a blemish on its pretty consistent track record, after they bounced back and got rid of that mongrel, whatever that was. Just please release the cut. I need it. I just want to see it one time. I just want to see the movie. I just want to see the cut of the movie with the original. No, dude, you gotta understand, man. It has to exist.
It doesn't, bro.
It has to exist because I think it would be so funny to see fucking 5th grader built Sonic fucking try it to do all the things that he does in the movie. But it's like he's like ugly.
5th grader.
Funny.
He is built like a 5th grader in that show, in that trailer, isn't he?
Exactly. His little hands, little feet, dude.
Awful.
But yeah, I think that's kind of just like my my thoughts and feelings. And I don't really got anything else to say. Do better.
Do better, Jeff Bowler.
He's doing his thing. He's trying.
He's having a crack.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. Thank you guys for listening in to this fucking episode of Finalhazard.
It's funny because I'm always here whenever Knuckles is mentioned. I love Knuckles.
Except for the last
your guys' reaction video with their speculation was all wrong.
That's so sad.
What was our speculation again?
You speculated that it would be a fucking interesting TV show.
True.
But yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching. And listening. Remember to subscribe and follow Figure 8 on all
literally
media,
every platform you could ever find.
On all social media platforms and all that good stuff. And we will see you guys in the next one. Yeah.